Hello there. This is the book Rattletrap Car. It is written by Phyllis Root and it's illustrated by Jill Barton. And this is how I would teach this book in my preschool classroom. First, we would go over that this is the spine of the book. This is the title of the book. And we talk about the fact that this was written by someone and it's illustrated by someone. And that illustrate means the person who drew the pictures. We would talk about this is the title page, and I would repeat the title, Rattletrap Car. I would then read the text on the first page, and we would stop and we would talk about the illustrations. Where's the setting? Where are they at? Are in the city or the country? Where in the country? Are they in a mechanic shop? Are they on a farm? Is this someone's house? Or do you think this is where someone works? Or is it both? We would talk about the animals in the pictures. And given that some of my children in the area where I live would be in a situation where they had animals at their homes, or maybe their parents are farmers, we would talk about the fact that, this may be like their house or it might not be like their house. We would talk about the animals, their chickens and their pigs and their chicks as baby chickens. And we'd go on to the second page and I would read the text to them. I'm not going to read the text in this video due to copyright issues. And we talk about the car, that it didn't go fast and it didn't go far. And we talk about what words rhymed, that car and far rhymed. We would talk about the age difference of the kids, that the two older children are old enough to use sentences, and the youngest child is a baby, so she just uses a couple words. And we would talk about, we'd go to the next page, read the text, and then talk about what they're bringing along. They're bringing some chocolate marshmallow fudge delight. We talk about maybe if they like fudge or not. And they're bringing home razzleberry, dazzleberry, stazzleberry fizz. And we may take a guess at what is razzleberry, dazzleberry, snazzleberry fizz. Is it juice? Is it like a soda pop? Would go on, I'd read the next text. I would make sure that I was very enthusiastic when I read, when I would be reading the sounds that this car would make to them, like clickety, clackety, bangety, bangety, pop. Making it very exciting for them, you have to be very enthusiastic with young children, because the more you're into it, the more they're into it. And we talk about they came to a problem. How would they fix their problem? We would take a guess, how would they fix their problem? And I would go around and I'd let each child guess. Some may think, well, you got to put on the spare tire, because maybe they've had experience that, they had to pull alongside a load because mom or dad, or maybe aunt or grandma, popped their tire and they had to put on a spare. And then we would talk about, what if they don't have a spare? And we would talk about, well, you know what? Maybe they would walk back home because it doesn't look like they're too far from the farmhouse. No. Then I'd read the next text and how they solved it. And we would talk about whether we thought it was a little silly that they stuck it on with chocolate marshmallow fudge delight. And how they got going, and then they come to the next problem. And we would then go on, we make an estimate how would they solve it? Well, what do they have to solve it? What do they think? Do they think they have other resources? Because, they didn't go fast and they didn't get far, and maybe they could still go back to the farmhouse. And then we would go on the next page, we'd read that text and see how did they solve it. You know, and they solved this one with the surfboard, and we solved the last one with the beach ball. And I would go on, of course, then I'm going to the next page, and we go to the third problem. Well, the gas tank fell off. Well, I'd ask them what are they going to do? They need gas to make the car go. What do you think they're going to solve this problem? And then we would get to the solution to the third problem. And around this time, I would then ask the children if they remember, well, what was the first problem and how they solved it? And what was the second problem and how they solved it? And a lot of times, especially in the beginning of the year, they can't give you that answer right away, and you'll have to end up giving it to them. You know, you have to, they solved they replaced the tire with a beach ball. When the floorboard fell out, though, they put a surfboard under there. And really making sure that it's not too judgmental on them. Because especially at like 4 and 5, and sometimes you'll have 3-year-olds in the room, depending on your class. And as one of my kids put it, I am their school mom. I'm like the other person in their life that they look up to. I mean, they have their mom and they have dad, and a lot of times they'll spend the day with, their teachers and their caregivers at the preschool, at the daycare. And they look up to us just as much as, they look up to their parents sometimes. Sometimes they spend an equal amount of time with us as they do with their own parents. And we would, back to the book, we would go through, how we solved the first problem, how we solved the second problem, how they solved the third problem. And we talk about who is actually helping, because I think the daughter in this situation is probably the oldest. And she'd be helping a little bit more, and the baby's mostly watching, and it looks like brother's a little distracted. And oh no, they have another problem. The engine fell out. Well, now how are they going to replace the engine? Once again, I would stop at this page and I'd have the children take a guess. How would they solve it? And by this point in the book, some of my older kids usually catch on that they're using something they brought along. They brought along the beach ball. They brought along the surfboard. They brought along the fizz. And what do they have left that they haven't used? What did Baby bring along? Well, Baby brought along... Oh, yes. What did Baby bring along? Baby brought along the paddle boat. Oh, and look, Baby is the youngest, but Baby still can help. Even though all she can say is go, go, go. So they put in the paddle boat for the engine, and oh look, they're on their way to the lake in their Rattletrap Car. And they got to the lake. They didn't go fast, they didn't go far, but they made it to the lake in their Rattletrap Car. And I always talk about, well, how are they going to get back? Look, they made it back perfectly fine. With their surfboard, with their beach ball wheel, with their fizzy drink as gas, and their paddle boat as an engine. Thank you for watching. I really do hope this is a help to you, especially new teachers.